sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. We'll think about that. A great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Gee, that sounds like Admiralty Maritime Law. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Well, fornication is kind of like an illicit activity, right? And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of the fornication. In other words, you know, all this commercial paper that's floating around for money. I mean, man, we're getting rich. I'm so happy. I'm getting so rich. I got all these Federal Reserve notes in my wallet. You know what I mean? That's exactly what's going on. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Well, gee, that sounds like Rome and the Vatican. This has been going on from the beginning of time. But the stranger that dwelleth among you shall be one as born among you. Thou shalt love him in thyself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. That's how they enslaved them. Okay, 2 classes of citizens. And that's how they enslaved them, because they were strangers in the land of Egypt. Ye shall have one ordinance both for the stranger and for him that was born in the land. 2 classes of citizens. A stranger and the one that was born in the land. Love ye therefore the strangers, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. That's exactly what was going on. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury. So why do you think they want to see a social security number to get a loan, to get a credit card, to get anything? You cannot get it unless you have a social security number. And the reason is they can't charge you interest unless they get it. You know, so the point is that you have to quit using it, okay? Quit using debt. Of course, sometimes you have to, but you know, get rid of it as quick as possibly can. You know, I don't have any debt except for that truck. That's it. I bought some land. I got land out in West Texas. I got land in Arizona. It's remote, and otherwise I just rent. You know, and I'm not interested in being their slave. And the bankster thieves already stole my house once. You know, that's enough. You know, and so again, you have to. Everybody has to decide what they're how far they're gonna push it, and to what extent they're gonna, you know, do it. But you know, that's what you have to do. Anyways, that's my attitude. Is that you know, I do have one credit card. And I keep that so that if I need to rent a car, then I got a credit card, because they always want a credit card to rent a car. And I have my truck has got, you know, a lien against it, and you know, so I'll always have something, quite frankly, because it's almost impossible to operate in today's world without something. But it's certainly down to bare bones minimum, and we all have to decide, you know, how far we're going to push it and everything like that. But what I do also is I make it so that they don't want to talk to me. Okay, so when I go into commerce is because I choose to go into commerce, and not because they're dragging me in there. And that's you know, again, you have to understand and know what to do and how to do it. And that's what this is all about here. Anyways, bottom line, all of this stuff is for Ford and GM. If you're a Ford or GM employee, then you're a slave for Ford or GM. If you want to be free, then we the people have to quit letting Ford and GM run the country. If you think about it, that's exactly what's going on. And we the people need to start holding our public servants accountable. And if we start to, then what'll happen, you know, they'll come right into line. I guarantee you. We start bringing indictments against them, you know, and look what's happened out in Hazel. Okay, the mayor's resigned, the chief of police has resigned, and the next guy running for mayor is like, he's not Republic of Texas, but he's probably the next best thing. And that's what happens, okay? But we the people need to get together and start asserting ourselves. That's what we need to do. And they will recognize it. There was in the 90s, there was a guy, someone, I don't know who it was, this is just something I heard about. There was someone that got their rights violated in Garland, okay? And they went and brought it to a common law jury in the 90s. I don't know if it was Republic of Texas or if it was just a common law jury. But it was a grand jury, I should say. And they brought an indictment against the city of Garland. And then they they put them on trial. And the city of Garland blew it off. They didn't even show up, and so they got convicted. And they sent a copy of that conviction to Dun & Bradstreet and Standard & Poor's. And then Garland couldn't get loans, they couldn't get bonds, they couldn't get insurance, they couldn't get financing for anything. And because Wall Street, they know the liabilities they're being exposed to. Okay? They have lawyers, they know the liabilities they're being exposed to, and they don't want anything to do with that. And so what happened is the city of Garland hired a lawyer to bring it into the state of Texas courts to have that conviction overturned. You know what the judge in the state of Texas courts said in that matter? The judge said, I can't do that. If I did that, I'd lose my bond. There you go, right there, okay? We the people have all the power, and they know it. And all we have to do is get together and start to assert it. Do you want to be free, or you want to be a slave? Is there a price that makes your freedom too expensive? Do you know who you are? The current government is de facto. It's essentially a gang of pirates who are engaged in obtaining some prize on the high seas of commerce. The only thing saving us is the fact that they have an oath of office. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. What is de jure government? It's government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is a government that is owned and operated by we the people. I have seen U.S. Supreme Court cases which says that the reason the government has immunity from suit is because it was de jure government, and for one of the people to file suit is like suing yourself. It's impossible. They will continue to violate your rights more and more every day until we the people decide to take our government back. We have to take it. They have taken away the common law jury. The juries you see these days are a complete farce. Common law has all the solutions we need. Common law is we the people. Common law is God's law as found in the Bible. Common law is 800 years of jury trial decisions in Old England. Sections 52 and 61 of the Magna Carta provide for a grand jury. Grand jury operates in the county. You need a de jure county judge to swear in the grand jurors. You hold an election for a county judge. And actually here we're in Robertson County right now, and we have a county judge. Although he's certainly getting on in years, but he's still doing it. You know, he's got to be in his 80s. And it's Norman Sewell over here in Hazel. And you ought to get to know him. He's a good guy. He is a Baptist minister, I guess, you know. And so they have a little church out there, so anyways, he's been put in jail many times, and he just flat refuses to get a driver's license or anything. He has Republic of Texas plates on his truck. Recently, the cops in Hazel pulled him over. And then they held him there for a few minutes, and they went and called up a whole bunch of other cops that were on duty at that time. And there was a sergeant, right? And he had all these cops showing up, and he didn't know what the heck was going on. And so they had like 6 or 8 cop cars sitting out there. And the sergeant comes out and he says, okay, you guys, I want you to see this guy, see what he looks like, and see what his truck looks like, because don't you think about messing with him. That's what he said. He said, leave his butt alone. Because I can put him in jail, and it won't mean a hill of beans except that he'll just sue us. But the bottom line is he sit there and told them all to leave him alone. And so obviously that common law jury conviction meant something. Okay, it got their attention. And it is powerful. And so one of the things that I'm telling Norman now we need to do is there's judgments for hundreds of thousands of dollars that common law jury granted him, and so we need to collect. And so I told him he needs to get certified copies of those judgments, and once he does that, then we'll serve him. We'll find out who the insurance company is for Hazel and the other cities that he's got judgments against, and we'll start administrating them and see if we can't collect something. And so again, there's a procedure. It's all in place. We just have to learn how to work it. I don't know everything. I know a little bit, and a lot of it to me, I mean, it's just common sense, really. It's like filing an insurance claim, and so we'll contact them and we'll ask them who their insurance company is and tell them we want to file a claim. And we'll send them a certified copy of that judgment and see what they say, you know. I mean, how are they going to argue against a judgment in a common law court? And then if they blow us off, then we'll file a lawsuit against them. I know how to do that. And we'll get their de facto court to order them to pay the money. Anyways, yes.
The copy is done in Brad, so they could make you.
It very well, you know, absolutely. You know, I mean, like I tell them, go ahead, take me over there, blow my brains out, because by the time I'm done with you, you're going to wish you did, and I'll do it all within the law. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So anyways, do you know who you are? You have to know who you are. You have to not only talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. The system, it's all there. All we have to do is learn how to use our own system. They're our public servants, right? They're all our servants, and we have to understand that and go ahead and start doing it, you know. Anyways, a grand jury operates in the county. Need a county judge to swear in the grand jurors. They actually have a common law jury and a grand jury that's operating in Robertson County. This is considered part of Robertson County in the de jure Republic of Texas. So I would encourage you, they have a meeting. If you want, I can give you Norman's email, and then he'll notify you when these meetings happen. But I wouldn't give out your information. Or I can send you his email address, and then you can contact him directly. That might be better. So he can notify you when they have their meetings, because I would encourage you to participate. You know, that's the power of the people operating, and it's all done. Like he went and when he went and put these cities on trial, you know, he couldn't be the judge in the matter, so they had another judge, Robert Savarese, who is Nacogdoches County, which is over in Dallas. He came over and he sat on the trials and did all of that. But again, you have to understand how a common law jury works. Okay, a common law jury calls the witnesses. A common law jury actually operates a lot like a grand jury. Okay, because the judge he doesn't do anything but swear in the jurors. Okay, then the common law jury will call the witnesses. The common law jury will question the witnesses. The common law jury will determine the law and the facts of the matter, and the common law jury will even pronounce sentence. The common law jury has to be 100% unanimous on what they do. Now, with a grand jury, they don't have to be unanimous. Okay, it's just majority. But with the common law 12-man jury, it's got to be unanimous. And once their decision is made, there's no appeal. Okay, and that's why this judge in Dallas, okay, or in Garland, couldn't do anything about that conviction, because the common law jury is not subject to appeal. It's finished. It's done, and there's no appeal. It's final. And that judge had no authority. He would have lost his bond. Is exactly what he would have done. Grand juries bring an indictment based on majority vote. Grand jury indictment says there's probable cause. That's all a grand jury indictment says. A grand jury indictment proceeds to a common law jury for trial. When I was living in Uxbridge, Ontario, and this is one of the things that you have to understand, I believe that there's places around here that we could hold our meetings. And I've been talking to Norman about this, and again, somebody has to probably administrate the local prosecutors and judges and stuff, and get them to give us a place to hold our meetings. And I'll bet you they will. And so this was in Ontario, okay? I was looking, I got a ticket for no seatbelt, and the ticket showed a certain address, right? So I was down at this address, and I was actually across the street, and there was this courtroom that was sitting there with, see, in Canada they have a coat of arms in the courtrooms, which is a military symbol, right? And but this was a courtroom that was across the street, and it had de jure flags in it, no gold fringe, Canadian flag and Ontario flag, and there was nobody in it. It was completely empty. And I saw that, and I thought, this looks interesting, but this doesn't look like, you know, it's a de jure courtroom. And I looked on the ticket, and I realized the address was across the street. And yeah, it was over there. But the point is I'll bet you that there's, because the Constitution says here it's got to be a common law court. And so I'll bet you that there is, that if we administrate our local prosecutors and chief judges and stuff, I'll bet you they'll give us a place to hold our meetings. I'll bet you. I'll bet you.
So can you ask to go to a common law? Can you ask to have a common law jury? I mean, if, like, say, if you got arrested and they said, we're going to put you on trial, can you say, hey,